is able to get my screens? Logs in. Okay, so you need to go to display, statutory report, GSTR2. So this is what you get on GSTR2. Okay, so this table specifically represents, it's a reconciliation report. So it is saying in your data you have 21 transaction. Okay, out of this 21 transaction, how many records are participated in this return? So there are 10 records, 10 transactions are getting participated in the returns. That's what it's saying. Which are these 10 records? Out of this 10, 9 are ready and 1 there is some mismatch, so you need an information. So because yesterday we did some transaction on import where we wanted to give that port name, port number. So it's saying bill of entry and the date is not specified, port code is not specified. So once when you specify this, this will also get cleared. Okay, then how many incomplete transactions that are not included? So there are 0 transactions, so all the transactions are included, and returns which are not relevant for this returns, transactions that are not relevant to this return. Say example, it might be a sales transactions. Okay, non-GSTR2. Okay, most of this are sales transaction and there is one purchase transaction. Okay, so these are which are not included, and these are all basically what kind of input tax credit that you have. Is it from B2B customers? Is it from credit notes, debit notes, or is it B2B unregistered invoices, or is it an import of goods, or is there any nil rated items that you have procured? So this is what it is showing, and in the bottom it is showing you what is the ITC reversal, that is input tax reversal that you have, and are there any tax to be paid on unregistered dealer purchases. Okay, so this is what the GSTR2 report is all about. Hope this gives the clarity on GSTR2 table. There are no questions further on yesterday's topics. We are just moving to today's topic. So topic for the day, advanced inventory management. So in Tally, what are all the things that you could do in inventory? So all these sessions, what we saw was on the basic of inventory. How do you create an inventory? How do you maintain your stocks? All these details, that is what we saw. Okay. Now in today's session, we will look into what are all the advanced features that you could enable and start using for your business. So here, how many of you are using inventories on Tally? Can you just type yes, we are using inventories on Tally on your chat? So how many of you are using inventory in Tally? Okay, good, fine. So 6, 7, 8. Okay, so out of some 40 participants, some 10 participants are using. So other 30 participants, you are not using inventory on your Tally. Can I make that assumption? So how many of you are not using inventory in Tally? Who are not using, please put it on your chat saying not using. Please type on your chat not using. Those who are not using inventory on Tally. Gopal Krishna, I think you are from Pushpanjali Textiles, right? From Dodbalapur. Is it the same Gopal Krishna? Shashikant not using Pushpam Textiles, but you are using inventory, sir. I know you are using inventory, sir. Okay, Vishwanath, you are also using inventory. Sir, you already have stock items, right? Okay. So around 10 people were not using inventory. Around 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is sorry, 10 are using inventory. 5 are not using inventory. Okay, it's 15. What are other 20 people doing? Or what are other 25 people doing? Are they using inventory or not? There are 42 participants. Okay, I got a count for 16. What are other 25 participants doing? Are they using inventory or not using inventory? Can you please come on chat and say yes, using inventory, or no, not using inventory? Okay. Maybe others are not using Tally itself. Okay, so let me ask one more question. On this group, how many are not using Tally? Can you just say not using Tally on your chat, please? How many are not using Tally? There is no response for not using Tally. So everyone is using Tally. So how many of you don't know what you are using? How many of you do not know what you are using, either using inventory or only accounts, but you don't know? How many of you are there who don't know what you are using? Okay. So I'm not able to get the reconciliation. So some 20 people are responding. I don't know what other 23 people are doing. Neither they are not responding for not using Tally. They are not responding for inventory. They are not responding for only accounts. See, let me tell you, okay, only when you interact, it will be much more effective sessions. Okay, this is not a lecture where I'm coming, and this is not a Purana that I'm giving. Okay, this is not a mythological Purana that we are doing here. Okay, this is an interactive session. Only if you interact, okay, we will understand what you want and we can teach that. Okay, or whatever we teach, if you want to just listen, then I don't think this is the forum. Okay, I request every participant to please be interactive. Otherwise, there is no point. If 20 people are interactive with 43 logins, 47 logins, what others are doing? You have to interact. You have to answer when we are discussing. It's okay even if you don't know, no problem. Okay, but I request everyone to be interactive in this session so that it becomes much more effective. Fine. So let's move on. Hope everyone is able to see my screen, computer screen, and hear my voice. Okay, fine, let's move on. So today's topic is advanced inventory management. So let us look at what are all the things that we want to cover in today's session. So as usual, the purpose of this training is to increase efficiency and eliminate duplication of work. If we can achieve these two things, then we have achieved our purpose. So in today's session, we will look at what is groups and categories and how different it is. What's different between groups and categories. Okay, so we look at how to use part numbers in inventory, how to define accounting allocations on inventory, alternate units, compound measure of units, bill of material, MRP, that is maximum retail price, multiple godowns, batch identification, separate actual and build quantity, price list, and reorder levels. So these are some 12 topics that we would be covering in today's discussion. Okay. So let's go one by one. Okay, before we get into it, let me just go through, is there any chat? Okay, Gangadhar, good. So your team has started implementing from 1st of April. Okay, so let them start creating masters. Good. Okay. So let's move on to Tally. So first topic is groups and category and what is the difference between groups and category and how to use it. So in our previous sessions, okay, we had looked at how to create stock items, okay, how to use groups. Okay, so now if I just go to display list of accounts and if I go to my stock items, okay, so this was the items that we had created in the last sessions. So there is air conditioner. Under air conditioner we had multiple items, food we had multiple items, fridge we had multiple items, mobile we had multiple items, BPL music system we had multiple items, similarly sports material we had multiple items, okay, TV, washing machine. So that what we had done was we had created all these things as stock group. So if you go to stock group, okay, this is the groups that we had created. Okay, see, now we need to understand from the business perspective. Okay, so since I'm using the household household equipment products, okay, let me take an example of Girias, or let me take an example of Reliance shop. Okay, Reliance, whatever the Reliance multi-branded retail outlets that they have. Okay, so in your area you have one Girias shop, or you have one Pi International, or you have one whichever the electronics showrooms that you have. Okay, or you have one Reliance Trend, or you have one Chroma, right? So there what they do is they sell all these products: air conditioner, fridge, mobile, music systems, okay, TVs, washing machines. This is what they sell. Now just understand how their business works. Okay, so how many of you have gone to these stores to buy an electronic goods in last 1 year? How many of you have visited these kind of shops to buy an electronic goods? Can you just put it on the chat? Yes, we have gone there. Okay, Reliance Digital showroom. Okay, yeah, so we most of us would have gone there to procure the whatever the products that we want. Okay, so you need to understand how the business logic works there. Say example, I go, so on the road corner of my home I have Girias showroom. Okay, so I wanted to buy a washing machine. In fact, we did that last 2 months ago. Okay, I went to buy a washing machine because my existing washing machine had passed its life. Okay, so I wanted to exchange that and buy a new washing machine. The previous washing machine was Samsung. So we were very comfortable with that because that it almost worked with us for almost 10 years. So there was a brand that's already built. So in our head, we always had saying, okay, we need to go back and buy one more Samsung washing machine. Okay, me and my wife went to the shop. Okay, as soon as we entered the shop, at least there were some 15 to 20 salesmen standing in the queue. Okay, So one gentleman came and asked, sir, what product you are looking at? So then when we told we are looking at washing machine, okay, so that guy went back and 4 more sales guys came forward and they told, so please come, we'll show you the washing machine. Okay, and there is a separate area for washing machine. Okay, we went there. So in our head we were very clear, yes, we want to buy a Samsung washing machine. Okay, but for a salesman, okay, he is very clear what he wants to sell. Okay, so there is a salesman who came to us, and when we told we want to look at washing machine, and we told we want to look at Samsung washing machine of, say, like example 6.5 liters, whatever the or 12 liters, whatever the size it is. Okay, first he showed us the Samsung washing machine. Politely he showed us the Samsung washing machine. Then he also gave some 2-3 brochures, okay, which was of a different brand. Okay, and he started saying, sir, the same washing machine, okay, in the other brand, okay, so like example in Whirlpool, okay, with the same configurations, it's available at 2,000 rupee less. Okay, then he also showed one brochure of Bosch. Okay, and he told, sir, this product, the same this thing, but it has a higher quality. Okay, your water consumption is less. So he started giving a lot of explanations about the different products, because in his mind he was very clear what product he wanted to sell. In our mind we were very clear what product we wanted to buy. But during the discussion, okay, we also thought about it and told, okay, why since he started explaining to us about the features of the product, okay, we also started thinking, why should we not try the other ones? Okay, because even the Bosch or the Whirlpool, okay, is a branded products. Okay, now typically, so this is the experience when we went to a shop. Okay, now let us take an experience of a mom and pop stores, that is a provision store or a small retail outlet that is available in nearby your home. Okay, you want to you go there, and example, you want to buy Annapurna Atta 2 kg pack. Okay, but you don't find that product. It is running out of stock. What this guy will do, he will tell you, sir, buy this, there is one more product, okay, of ITC, it is not Annapurna, okay, it is some other brand, and he will sell that to you. Now the requirement is, I want to know which brand product is available. Okay, what are all the items that is available against a brand. So now what we have done, say example, if you are looking on the screen, okay, what we have configured the group is basically based on the product. Okay, now parallelly I want to categorize based on the brands. How do I do that? Say example, okay, so in the first example I gave, since we were very clear on we wanted to buy a Samsung product, Samsung washing machine. Okay, so what the salesman will do is, salesman will read our psychology, okay, and he understands, yes, these people are committed to a brand, these people are committed to Samsung brand. Okay, then if there is a smart salesman, he will also start explaining you, sir, do you know today Samsung has come out with iron box also? Okay, Samsung has come out with high digital TV with 52-inch. I could show you that also, because the simple reason is, okay, he has read the psyche of the customer and he knows that this customer is loyal to Samsung. Okay, so now if you want to do all these things by looking at the data, so these are all the practical things that's happening on the ground. But if you want to do all these things by looking at the data, or if you are the finance manager in Girias, or if you are the management, if you are part of the management in Girias, now you want to analyze the data and tell, okay, which product is moving faster, which product you need to store more. Okay, so you require the data based on either the line of the product or either the brands, you need these datas. Okay, for that you require parallel classification of the stock items. That is when you could use cost category and start maintaining parallel categories, parallel way of reporting. Okay, so let us just come to this, and I'll show you how, if you want to say for this example, for the same data, if you want to categorize based on the brand, how do you categorize based on the brand? Okay, so example, we'll look at this. Okay, all the stock items we look at. If I go to stock item, okay, what brands we have? We have Samsung brand, we have Voltas, okay, we have Annapurna is ITC, okay, Samsung, Apple, BPL, okay, these are all the brands that we have. So what we will do is, okay, we will go to the inventory info. Before we get into inventory info, okay, we'll go to F11 features, go to inventory features, okay, and enable stock categories. So there is an option to maintain stock categories. Enable this. So once when you enable stock categories on your inventory information screen, you have a new menu called stock categories. Okay, I'm just creating this. Okay, so I'll just go to multi categories and I'll say Samsung, BPL, Voltas. Okay, then whatever the brands that I have. Okay, so okay, Apple. Okay, so like this, whatever the brands that I have, I'll just create all these brands as categories. Now once when I create category, I will go to stock item. Since I already have stock item, I'm just going to alteration mode. Okay, Annapurna Atta. Okay, first let me take this BPL music system. Okay, once when I take this BPL music system, under music system, and you get a new option called categories, and I will tag it to BPL. Save this. Similarly, I'm just going to Samsung. I'll tag this to Samsung. Category as Samsung. Okay, so I'm just changing the categories. Okay, like this. Okay, so what I will also do is, okay, I need to just go here Annapurna. Now I have not got ITC as a category. So I'm just creating this by clicking Alt C, saying ITC products. Okay, so this is one. Okay, Apple comes from Apple brand. This comes from Apple brand, right? Atta. This might be from some other, say like example, Hindustan Lever. Okay, or Patanjali. I'm just creating one category called Patanjali. Okay, so I'm putting under Patanjali. Cadbury chocolate. So this is food items, right? Okay, and this goes to Cadbury, goes to Cadbury's of which brand? Does anyone know what Cadbury is of which brand? Cadbury. Or Cadbury itself is a brand? I'm not sure. Cadbury is of which brand? Okay, so let me say Cadbury itself is a brand. So like this, I'll go on saving it. I could also go to multiple alteration of the item. Okay, go based on specific products, all products. So example, I'm just taking all the products. Now I could go on updating the category over here. So on one screen, I could do a lot of things. So on one screen, I could go on cricket. Okay, so cricket, say example, I'll say Willow. Okay, or GM. Gold jewelry. Okay, so let this be as a this thing, hockey sticks from Example, I'm just saying GM itself, all sports products, iPod under Apple. Okay, men's shirt. Okay, I could take men's shirt. I could create one more this thing called Tommy Hilfiger. Parle-G biscuits under Parle-G. Under Parle products. Raw rice. Okay, so this is basically from Patanjali. Samsung from Samsung. Okay. Samsung fridge. Samsung. Air conditioner. Samsung. Samsung. Sony. Tally products, or I'll just say software. Sorry, we are looking at the brand. Tally is a brand by itself. Tennis bat comes under GM. Voltas comes under Voltas. Voltas. Whirlpool. So I've just categorized all the items. Okay, now when I look at the report, example, I could just go back, display, list of accounts. Okay, and if I go to stock items, now the items are default showing based on the groups. Okay, now if I want to look from the category perspective, I could also look at from the category perspective. So the same stock item. Okay, now I'm looking by brand. Okay, say example, what are all the items that I have in Samsung? Fridge, washing machine, this is air coolers. Okay, where this will help me, how it will help me. Say example, if I'm dealing with multi-branded products, when a supplier comes to me, I need to have this information saying how much of his products I'm storing. What is the value of the products that I have in my stock? How much of stock of Samsung is laying there which is more than 90 days old? Because when that salesman comes from Samsung, I need to negotiate with him saying that please take back all these products and give me a new product. Okay, so for all this data, for all this kind of analysis, we might require parallel categories for the stock item. Okay, and similarly, you could also look at the report. Say example, okay, currently if you are looking at the stock summary, it is just showing at your group level, group wise. What are all the items that you are holding and what is the quantity that you are holding? You could also look at, go to inventory box. Okay, sorry, go to statement of inventory and look at category level of classification. Now the same product, same items is showing you based on the brand. Okay, now this is what will help me. Say example, if you look at how many products you are holding of Samsung, totally I have 34 numbers of Samsung products across all the categories, sorry, across all the product lines. Is this clear? Why you require category versus groups? So if I look at Whirlpool, what are all the products I have? I have 26 number Whirlpool products, both fridge and washing machine. Voltas, I deal only with ACs. Okay, Tommy Hilfiger shirts, Tally software, Patanjali, Raw rice. Right, so you know against which brand you are holding how much of stock. Will this be helpful? Now this is just an example I have given to you. Now you could start thinking from your business perspective in your organization how you could categorize this. So are there any questions before we move forward? Okay, so if there are any questions, please put it on chat. We will come back to that later. Okay, so now difference between category and group. Hope everyone is clear. So part numbers. What is part number? Why part numbers are required? Can anyone tell me why part numbers are required? Okay, and where this part number will be helpful? See, especially, okay, so Ashwini, Nisha, identification of specific products. Ashwini, items of the same, but part numbers will be different. Just like batch numbers in manufacturing units. Item code. Yeah, right. So I'll just give you an example. Part numbers are predominantly used in your automobile industry, automobile segment. Okay, so let's take an example of automobile segment. So I'm a retailer. Okay, so we have one customer. Okay, we have one customer by name Ishwari Automobiles in Yeshwantpur. Hope Mr. Chandru is also on the call. I'm not sure. Is Chandru part of this discussions? Is Chandru part of this online trainings? Okay, Mr. Chandru is the owner of this Ishwari Automobiles. What they do is they buy products, all the two-wheeler, four-wheeler automobile parts. They are the retailers. They buy from their distributors or the wholesalers, and they are selling it to predominantly to a lot of workshops who does the repairs and maintenance of this two-wheeler and four-wheelers. Okay, so now what they need is, say example, you will call say ball bearing. Okay, for the wheel there is a ball bearing that is required. Okay, so the ball bearing, once when you say the ball bearing, okay, the ball bearing is, you find multiple manufacturers of this. SKF is one, the branded name for ball bearings. Okay, SKF is the one brand for ball bearing. Ball bearing is also manufactured by Bosch. Okay, you also find a lot of other manufacturers who have this ball bearing. Okay, but in that industry line, okay, say example, I say I require a ball bearing for my two-wheeler Yamaha two-wheeler. I require a ball bearing. Okay, so that for Yamaha two-wheeler, okay, there is a, when you call ball bearing, okay, there is some unique number which is represented as a part number, and generally this is the part number that is being used common across all the manufacturers. Okay, so the name of the product might be, say like example, they might call as SKF ball bearing, or they might say Bosch ball bearing. But ball bearing is one product, but that has the same, the name of the same of ball bearing, okay, might have different size, okay, at different gauge, at different strength. All right, so generally what they do is, first they do the catalog of these products and they give a part number to it. So irrespective, now if I have a part number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, probably that is the same product part number that is being used by across all the brands. So it's easier to identify when they do an internal trade. Say example, when manufacturer wants to sell to distributor, okay, it starts from there. And now distributor, say example, distributor is dealing with both SKF ball bearing as well as Bosch ball bearing, but the part number, okay, probably will remain the same. So though he has this thing, so now you should be able to identify the item either based on the part number or based on the name. So it is as good as internally in Tally there is something called alias, okay, that we use for the identification of either the any masters for that matter. Okay, so that is what we use for using the part numbers. So when you start using the part numbers, and when you want to print your invoice, either you could print the invoice with the name or with the part number or with both. Okay, so generally when I purchase and my purchase bill comes in part numbers, but when I sell to my workshops, when I give the bill to my workshops, I give with the name but not with the part number, or both name and the part number. So that flexibility you need to have. Okay, that is where you use the part numbers. Okay, so let me just go to the system and show you how to use this part number. Then you will get an insight of how to do this. Okay, so let me just go to Tally. Okay, so if I want to use part number, say like example, let me take the same example of what I told, ball bearings. Okay, so now there is only name, there is no part numbers or anything over here. So what I will do is I'm just clicking on configure. Okay, here you have an option for provide part numbers for stock item. Enable this part numbers. Okay, so now you are able to see against the name there is part number also. Clear? So example, I'm just saying Yamaha ball bearing. Okay, so this is part number is this. Okay, this comes under vehicle parts. Okay, and group is Yamaha is the brand, category is the brand. Then I'm saying this as numbers. Same thing, whatever the GST that I have, I'll give the GST details, and I'll say this is at 12% tax. I have 100 numbers, example, 150 per ball bearing, 15,000. Okay, I have one more, Bosch. Ball bearing. Okay, I have code. Now I'm saying this comes under vehicles, category is Bosch, numbers applicable, taxable at 12%, have 50 numbers. Okay, this is 200 rupee per number. Okay, so now when I make a purchase, okay, generally I purchase all the Bosch from my Bosch distributor. Okay, so purchase will never be a problem. So when I make a sale, okay, so I'm doing a local sale. Okay, so it's the item sale. Okay, so I'm doing a local sale. I'm just changing the date to who's the party. So example, I'm selling to Extrude Hone. Okay, so what's the item? See here, you are also seeing the part numbers. Okay, it's also listing out your part numbers, and it's also listing out your item name, Yamaha. If you just say, see, Yamaha ball bearings is available. Okay, Bosch ball bearing, is it available? So on the list, it is showing both. So if you are familiar with part number, you could use part number. If you are familiar with the name, you could use the name. Say example, in this case, I'm just saying I'm using this name. Okay, so I'm billing 10 numbers at 200 rupees. Okay, now for the other one, I want to use part number. So even if you use part number, it is taking as an item on the screen. Okay, so 12 numbers, 250 rupees. Okay, this is what I have billed. Okay, now when I want to take the print of this invoice, I could go to F12 configure and see how this name should appear. One second. Item names on the print. Print additional description. There is an option to print. Batch, sorry, it's not batch number. Print part number. Make this as yes. Okay. Now, okay, so this is too much because we have, okay, let me just reconfigure this, because yesterday we did one export invoice. So we had enabled all the export details. So it is just showing all the export options. Okay, so let us just disable a lot of export details basically. F12, I don't need this export details. See, on the screen, you are also getting what is the part number, description of the goods, HSN code, GST, and the part number is also available. So there are some, in some of the business, they identify by part number. In some of the business, they identify by name, description of the goods. So you could decide which you need and take this. So in your system, either you give the part number or the name. Okay, it is treating as the same item. It is just one more alias for the name. Is that clear? Any questions on this part number? How to do? Okay, please show once again how to create or configure part numbers. My internet problem went down for 2-3 minutes. Sure. Srinivas, so to create part number, it's very simple. Once when you go to item, okay, say example, you click on create, click on F12 configure and enable show part numbers for stock item. Once when you enable this, you get a new field called part number. Okay, you could update this. This is just like an alias, a second name for the item. Okay, so we have just created 2 items for sample purpose. Okay, say example, we called it as Yamaha ball bearing and we have given the part number to this. Okay, and similarly, we have created one more item called Bosch ball bearing with part number. So once when you do this at the transaction level, okay, you could choose to select either the name or the part number. So even part number is also listing out here. So example, if you just say this, it will automatically take as Bosch. Okay, so that is how you could do. And on the print, once when you want to print, okay, you could go to F12, okay, and enable here print along with part numbers. So part number will be printed on a separate column on your invoice. So Gangadhar is asking me a question. What if multiple part numbers under same brand? You could go on creating any number of part numbers. Say example, you could just go to your tally. Okay, so now this inventory alter. So now this has multiple brand numbers. You could say, okay, so 34454534445A B. So you could have any number of part numbers for the same item. It's still possible. Okay, now when you're making a transaction, okay, say example, now if you just make a transaction, okay, see here, for the same item, you have multiple part numbers still allowed. You could do that. Possible. Right? Okay, show the chart again. Is this the chart, Dinesh, you are looking at? List of stock items? Dinesh, is this the chart you are looking at? No, the category chart. Okay. Go to display, list of accounts, click on category. This is the chart. So now we have created new thing called Yamaha. So that is also listing out. We have created Bosch. That is also listing out. Is this what you want to know? Is this the report, Dinesh, you are looking at? Topic chart. So we were discussing on this part number. Is this the one? Okay. So these are all the 12 topics today we'll be discussing. Fine. So let's move forward. Okay. So the next on the topic that we'll be discussing is about defining accounting allocations. Okay. So one of the critical things. So in all these examples, what we took was basically in the accounting allocations. Say example, if you just go to Tally, okay, and look at your profit and loss. Under sales, you have only 3 heads. Example, local sales, interstate sales, export sales. Right? Now assume that you need sales ledger by product or by brand. Say example, sale of food products, sale of washing machines, sale of televisions, sale of whatever, the telephones, mobile phones. Example, if you want those kinds of ledgers that you want to maintain, and you want to tag the items directly to that ledger so that at the entry level you don't make any mistakes, then we could also have that. Or salesman wise report. I didn't understand, Srinivas, what is the salesman wise report? No, salesman wise report you could take from cost center. Here you need not come to salesman wise for the accounting allocations. That you could do from cost center itself. Okay. So example, let me just give you an example since we already have the data over here. Okay, so I'll say I'm just going and creating broad ledgers under sales. Okay, so I'm saying sale of washing machine, sale of television, sale of food products, sale of mobile phones. So I want based on this category, this ledger. Now once when I have this ledger, Okay, I could go to inventory info. So because I already have all the inventories. Okay, so now I'm just going to iPhone. I want to tag this item. Whenever I'm making a sale, it has to automatically take to sale of uh, phones, not to any other ledger. So if you want to do that, just go to the stock item, go to configuration and enable default specified default allocation for invoicing. Specify default ledger allocation for invoicing. Enable this, say yes. Now, once when you save this, you get a new option called set modify default ledger for invoicing over here. You could enable this. Now it is saying if you are doing a sale of this product, to which ledger it has to take. Say example, I'm saying it has to go to sale of mobile phones. And when you are purchasing, to which ledger it has to go, it will show all your purchase ledger. Similarly, you could create purchase of mobile phones. Say example, I'm just saying purchase of mobile phones under purchase group. Okay. So now when I have tagged this, so like example, let me just go to what are all the other things that I created. Purchase of television, right? So there was a television. So let me just go to Sony 42-inch. Enable set modify ledgers for invoicing. Okay, sale of television. This should go to sale of television. Okay, and here you could create one more sale of purchase of television, or you could say local purchase, whatever it is. Default allocation. Okay, so Sony TV example 56-inch. I'm saying sale of television. Okay, and purchase allocation. So like this, you could go on identifying for each of the ledger to which sales ledger and the purchase ledger it has to go. Okay, so how to configure? Very simple. Go to inventory info, stock item. Okay, in your create or alteration screen, when you open this, click on F12. Okay, and specify default ledger allocation for invoicing. Enable this. So you get a new option called set modify ledgers. So here you could specify what is the sales ledger and what is the purchase ledger. All right. So now let me make one sale entry for these three items, whatever the things I have done. Okay, so for example, I'm just taking no allocations are applicable. Okay, here I'll just go to F12 and I'm removing default, sorry, not default bill allocation, sorry. I use common ledgers, I'm removing this. Okay, so now I'm just selecting the customer, Fine Studio. Okay, which is the item? Sony TV. Okay, one number, 80,000 rupees is my inclusive. Okay, so television. See, automatically it picked to television. I didn't specify. It is picking from your stock item configuration. Okay, or which is the other item we took? Apple phone. One number, 80,000. See here, sale of mobile phones. So there is an automatic allocation of the ledger based on what you have configured in your stock item. So this will ease out doing data entry. So if there is one dumb person who is sitting in front of the computer to do a sale invoice, he need not worry to which ledger it has to get allocated. The system will automatically pick those ledgers. So typically, if you configure all these things, even a non-accounting guy who doesn't understand debit credit can also sit and do the invoicing. Right? Is this clear? Are there any questions on this? Okay, so let's move forward. The next topic is about alternate units. So there is unit of measure. All of you know how to create unit of measure, how to link unit of measure. Now, there are situations where you might require alternate unit of measures also. So what is alternate unit of measures? Can anyone tell me what is alternate unit of measures? Can anyone give me an example of what is alternate unit of measures? Numbers to box, like meter to feet. Superb. Yes. The alternate unit is typically like number to box or like meters to feet. So you have some standard conversion. Where there is standard conversion, okay, you could specify the alternate units. Then you could either deal in any of the units. Say example, I'll just tell you, give you an example. We buy in bulk and sell in loose. Most of the retailers do that. Say example, let me just take Parle-G. Okay, I buy from my distributor. I'm a retailer. I buy from my distributor. My distributor is selling only carton basis. He doesn't sell in packets. He will say, boss, if you want take one carton, get out of here. Okay, but I'm a retail store. I cannot sell in cartons. My customers doesn't buy in carton. They want to buy in only packs, small packs. Okay, so what happens is when I purchase in carton. When I sell in packs. Okay, so in the purchase entry, it should support me in carton. In sale entry, it should support me in packs. So to do that, okay, we could use alternate units. But one thing that you need to remember in alternate units, it should have a standard conversion. Say example, I'm saying one box is equal to 25 packs. Okay, so the system will automatically calculate that. But today he's giving 25 packs. Tomorrow if he says 30 packs, day after tomorrow if he says 20 packs, then alternate units will not work. Okay, so like example, 12 number is equal to 1 dozen. That's the standard conversion. Okay, 1000 grams is equal to 1 kg. So like that, if you have 100 sticks is equal to 1 box in agarbatti, 100 sticks is equal to 1 pack. If you have those kind of standard conversion, then your alternate units will work. Okay, so let me just go, okay, and take this, how to use this alternate units. Let's go to Tally. Okay, so let me go to stock item, inventory info, stock item, alter, Parle-G biscuits. So here it is, the unit of measure is only piece, right? And I already have some items, so it will not allow me to change. So let me do one thing. Let me just create one new item. Okay, call it as, what items can we pick? Okay, say example, Vishwanath is there. Okay, we'll say we'll take the agarbatti example. Okay, so example I'm saying, sir, what is your brand? Which brand you sell? Can you just name one of your stock item, Vishwanath? Can you put it on the chat? Any stock item? Okay, Sampurna. Okay, so example, I'll just say Sampurna Agarbatti. Okay, now in your stock creation screen, you have an option in configuration. Okay, there is an option where you could use alternate units for stock item. Enable this. Use alternate unit for stock item in F12 configuration of the stock item. Enable this. So you get, first you define what is the unit of measures. So I'm just defining it as packs. Okay, so there is no, I don't sell in loose packs. I'm just selling in packs. Okay, and what is the alternate unit of measure? Okay, so example, okay, let me say I don't sell in packs, I sell only in cartons. Okay, so now I'm just creating my unit of measure as carton. Cartons. Okay, and alternate unit here is packs. So main unit is carton, alternate unit is packs, and I am defining 100 packs is equal to 1 carton. That is what I have defined. So here if you look at, my unit of measure is carton, my alternate units is pack, and I am defining 1 carton is equal to 100 packs. So 100 packs is equal to 1 carton. And I'm defining all these details. Taxable example at 12% or 5%. I don't know. I'm just giving 5%. So in my stock, I have 100 carton. It is also telling me 10,000 packs. It's automatically converting 100 into 100, 10,000 packs, and per carton, it is 650 rupees per carton, and it is 65,000. Okay. Now I just go and do one sale entry. Sales to extrude hone, Sampurna Agarbatti. Okay. Here when I'm selling, either I could sell in carton or in packs. Both is default, both can be supported. Say example, I'm just saying 4 cartons. So it's also giving you an information, it is 400 packs, right? So example, I'm just saying 800 rupee per carton. Okay, so there is GST. So I'm saying local sales, output CGST, output SGST, round off 3,200. Okay. So even while printing, so default, if you print, it is showing you 4 cartons, 400 packs. Okay. Now let me do one thing. Okay, I'll show you one more magic. One more magic. Okay, so let me just change the date. Okay, I'm selling to extrude hone, Sampurna Agarbatti, quantity. Now I'm selling, I need to give in packs because now some special request has come from Ashwini. Okay, she's saying, no, sir, I don't need 4 cartons. Actually, I need 350. So I need 3 full cartons and half carton with 50 numbers. So supply me 350 packs. I don't need 4 cartons because I can't use it. So what you could also do is, you could say 350 packs. In the quantity, you could also specify the alternate unit. So if you specify the alternate units in the as packs, okay, whatever the unit of measures you have given, and click on enter, see here, it is consuming 4 cartons, but actually it is saying 350 packs. Means because you have now broken that carton and you are giving some portion of it. So carton wise you have sold 4 cartons, but packs wise you are still selling only 350. Right? Then you will give the rate. So automatically the rate has been pegged 671.9 per carton. Okay, and it's giving you this details. Output CGST, output SGST, and round off. So here it says 4 cartons but 350 packs. Is this clear? How to affect in stock total? Let us see the stocks, how it gets affected. By selling like this, then closing stocks will be in cartons or packs. Your base unit of measure is cartons. Alternate unit is packs. So you could look at both in cartons as well as in packs. It will show both. Okay, so now let us just go to the report to look at how does it show. I go to stock summary. So Sampurna Agarbatti. Okay, so it's showing in cartons. One sec, I'm just putting on battery charger. My computer is going low battery. Okay, fine. So it is showing me in carton. I could click on F12, go to configure and say show it in alternate units. There is an option for me. Show using alternate units. Yes. Now it is showing me when I look at carton, it is 92 cartons. So it is treating as 4 cartons are sold. But when I look at packs, it is taking only 350 packs have got sold. So only 750 packs have got sold here. Right? So in the second transaction, it has taken 350 packs, but carton wise, it has taken 4 cartons. So if you are looking stock from an alternate unit, it will exactly show number of packs that is available in your stock. Is this clear? But values not matched because the sales transaction you had given for 4 cartons. So you have to give lesser rate. That's all. While making a sales transaction, okay, default it has picked for 4 cartons. So you need to reduce the rate. Is it clear, Praveen? Praveen bhai, you are from Mataji Enterprises? Okay. See, you have to give at lesser rate because you are selling partial carton. Okay, but we took at the full rate. That was the reason it was giving this. Vishwanath, will this help you? Okay, that's good. So how many participants believes that it will help in your business? This alternate unit of measures. Can you just put it on chat? Yes, it will help in our business. Rajesh, yes, it will. Okay, superb. Okay, fine. So we will move to the next topic. While we have seen the alternate unit of measures, there is something called compound unit of measures. So what is compound unit of measures? Does anyone know what is compound unit of measures? Okay, this is the real magic of Tally. If you want to really look at. Okay, so I'll just give an example. Okay, since Vishwanath is also as part of this session. Okay, how it works in Agarbatti business. So, okay, so let's do one thing. Let us open one Excel sheet before we get into it so that we don't get confused. All right. Okay, so I'm on new Excel sheet. Okay, so item is Sampurna Gold Agarbatti. Okay, and let us say we are manufacturers. So we are the manufacturers of this agarbatti. Okay, so how does this packing of the agarbatti happens? 100 sticks is equal to 1 pack. 100 packs is equal to, or example, I'll just say 12 packs is equal to 1 box. Okay, 10 box is equal to 1 bag. 10 bags is equal to 1 carton. Okay, so let me just take the example of this. So agarbatti, actually it is in sticks. In 1 pack there are 100 sticks. Okay, in 1 box there are 12 packs. In 1 bag there are 10 boxes. In 1 carton there are 10 bags. So example, if you look at 1 pack is equal to, so if I want to measure in sticks, okay, so this is 100. In 1 box, how many are there? 100 into 12, right? This is equal to this into 12. 1200 sticks are there. In 1 bag, sorry, in 1, so 1 box has 1200 sticks. 1 bag has 12,000 sticks. Okay, it is as good as this into 10. Okay, 1 carton has this into 10 again, 1,20,000 sticks. If you want to take measure in sticks, okay, now if you want to maintain this in Tally, how do you do this? Is it possible tomorrow, if you want to know how many sticks are laying in my stock, okay, you might be selling in cartons. If you want to know how many sticks is laying in my stock, you could configure this, okay, by using compound unit of measures. Okay, so we need to create all this as initially as your packs, bags, box, carton, all these things as your unit of measure. Then you need to use compound unit of measures. Okay, so example, I'll just show you. Okay, so let me just go to Tally. Okay, so just look at here. Okay, so I'm just going to inventory, unit of measure. Okay, currently I have carton, packs. All right. Okay, so we'll just create an unit of measure. So default, when you create unit of measure, okay, you are just creating one symbol, one formal name, and you are creating it, right? But before that, there is something called simple. So you just click on backspace on your keyboard you get something called compound unit of measures. So select compound unit of measures, where you are defining, okay, 1 carton is equal to of 12,000 sticks. Sticks is not there. Example, I'll just say sticks. Typically it's numbers. One second, what did I do? Sorry, one sec. I told 1200, it is 12,000 sticks, right? So I have created one compound unit of measure, call it as carton of 12,000 sticks. Similarly, I will create one more this thing called carton of 1,20,000 sticks in this example. I'm sorry, carton of 1,20,000 sticks. Okay. Similarly, I'll create a bag of 12,000 sticks. I'll go to create compound unit of measures. Bags are not here. I'm just creating this thing. So first, let me just create simple unit of measures, bags. Bags, okay. Then I have box, I think. Boxes, box. Okay, then I have packs. I already have. Now I'm going to compound unit of measures. Okay, I have created this, already done this. I'm saying bag of 12,000 sticks. Bag of 12,000 sticks. Similarly, I have box of 1,200 sticks. Box of 1,200 sticks. Packs of 100 sticks. Okay, I'm saying packs of 100 sticks. Okay, so now if you look at your unit of measures, so you have bag of 12,000 sticks, box of 1,200 sticks, carton of 1,20,000 sticks, packs of 100 sticks. Okay, now I'm creating a new stock item, Sampurna Gold Agarbatti. What is my unit of measure? Okay, so I say example, Vishwanath sells only in cartons. He doesn't sell in box, packs or anything, but internally it is packed like that. Okay, so he will just take carton of 12,000 sticks. What is the alternate units? So alternate units is maximum that he's going to do is he sells in bag, not less than that. Okay, so he is again saying bags of 12,000 sticks. So here I will just say bag. Okay, one bag is equal to 12,000 sticks. Yes, I'm just giving the GST details. Tax is charged at 5%. Goods. Okay, reporting is in always cartons. Okay, so I have 100 cartons in my stock, which is 1,000 bags, right? So per carton, the cost is 800 rupees, 80,000. Okay, now I'm going and making a sale entry to Extrude Hone Sampurna Gold Agarbatti. How many cartons? So like example, I'm selling 3 cartons. Okay, I'll just show you different things. So it is default taking 30 bags. Okay, so the rate is, say example, 1000 rupee per carton, 3000 rupee sales. I have output CGST, output SGST. So this is, I have sold 3 cartons, which typically is 30 bags. For the next person, even if he disables, he knows there is 30 bags in that. Okay. Now, if you look at your stock summary, 97 cartons are available. Okay, again you go here and say show in alternate units. It is also showing you in alternate units, which is saying 970 bags. But you had also specified carton has 1,20,000 sticks, correct? So if you want to know in number of sticks how much it is available, you could go to configure and say show me in tail units of compound, tail of compound units. Yes. It is showing 1,16,40,000 sticks in 970 bags. Is it perfect? 1,16,40,000 sticks. So typically if it is 970 bags, okay, I have. So this is equal to this into 970, which is exactly 1,16,40,000 sticks. Now you could decide to see the report either in the tail unit. Tail unit is the last unit of measure. Okay. Or on the standard unit that you have specified, or on the immediate unit. Either you, in this case, you could see in cartons, you could see in bags, or you could see in sticks. All these 3 options are available. Okay. So I have just taken this as an example because let me tell you, I have seen n number of ERPs. I have worked on multiple systems, but this kind of flexibility I have not seen in any other software. Okay. The kind of flexibility that you get in the unit of measures while configuring, okay, for your MIS reporting, say tomorrow, okay, if assume that this is the stock that Mr. Vishwanath is holding. Okay, now there is a lockdown period. Okay, so there are 2 ways to look at the agarbatti market. Lockdown period is good for them because now most of the people will start going to temples. Most of the people will start praying for good things. So they need agarbatti. Right, Vishwanath? Okay, so one way of looking at is, okay, now I have this. How do I ensure that I liquidate all the stocks immediately? How do I take the advantage of this lockdown? Okay, now I know what is the stock that I hold. Okay, so now I'll say, okay, sir, I'll go to my distributor and say, sir, for every carton you pick, I'll give you 10 bags free, or sorry, 1 bag free. Some scheme that I will do, and I'll ensure that I'm liquidating all my stock. Okay, for this we require data. Okay, for doing any, to take any business decisions or to do any analysis, for us data is critical. And who has this data? My accounts finance team has the data because they are doing purchase entry, they are doing sales entry. So I need to ensure my systems are configured in such a way that I get my required informations from the system. Is this clear? Any questions? Any questions on compound unit of measures, alternate unit of measures? Okay, so let's go to our presentation. So we have covered point 1 to point 5. Okay, so we need to start with bill of material. Okay, now I think it's already 11:30 now. Okay, I think we'll take a break here and again start in this second session, okay, on the other topics, and we'll try to complete all the topics, all these things by today's session in the second session. Okay, sorry, this is my yesterday's this thing. Okay, so are there any questions? Thank you everyone.